Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Elise. Thanks for joining me today. A little bit of a different video for me. I usually don't do videos in front of a camera. You usually just see my hands. I do paper crafting videos and a lot of card making, but today I wanted to show you a little bit about my gift wrapping for the holidays and how I've incorporated some stamps and dies and things like that into my gift wrapping for the holidays. This next clip is going to be a overview shot of me making the different projects and products that I'm going to use on my gift wrapping. So watch through that, and then I'll be back at the end to show you kind of a close-up of how they turned out on my wrapping.
Okay, so just a quick overview of the supplies. I brought out a ton of things, all from the stamp market, basically. I wasn't quite sure what I was going to use, but knew that this was the theme that I wanted to go for. So I've got a bunch of different stamps and dies. Everything is linked down below. And I'm also using some of their paper, which this was the first time that I've ever used their paper, and it's really nice. Kind of has a little bit of a tooth to it, but I really like it. So just straightening everything out, and I did all my die cutting up front. There was a lot of die cutting to do. And so I use my Gemini. I love the Gemini Junior. It's a great die cutting machine, and it makes quick work of all of this. So just running it through and doing all my die cutting all up front, all at once. So here I've got all of that greenery cut out so that I can make my wreath. And I am speeding this up, the assembly up. I am using Lawn Fawn glue to just glue together these stems and create this wreath. So I'm gluing on the end of that stem and putting it in between, I guess that's like the second set of leaves. Just going around in the wreath shape and getting it all set up. So just going through and putting this all together. It really did not take very long. And then at the end, I'll kind of pull it together as you see and glue together that one last edge. And now I have my wreath. Needed a little bit more glue in a few spots here and there, so just adding on just to stabilize it. And then when I glued it on my package, I used quite a bit of glue as well to make sure that it was stable. I really like this glue. It does dry clear, so if it oozed out anywhere, it really wouldn't make a difference on my final package. So just going around where those leaves overlap, adding just a little bit of glue to add that stability. And I'm going to set that aside to dry. I've got my wreath here. That's just Nina Solar White card stock, the 110 pound, and then using both the cherry cardstock and the ink from the stamp market and stamping on a sentiment. Trying to line this up, but I'm also, inking and stamping without a MISTI, so I did not need these to be exactly perfect. For something like a tag, it doesn't bother me if it's not perfectly straight, which none of mine ever came out to be straight and could never unless I use a MISTI. That's the number one reason why I continue to use my MISTI, so that everything gets to be straight. Okay, so I have got that tag now, just putting away that stamp. And then I will go ahead and look to attach it to that wreath. And I end up doing that with some twine. Now I've got that 3D Posie Die, and I'm just gluing together the circles. Sorry, I ended up gluing a lot of those together off camera, but you just kind of slide it together. And then what you do with these is you kind of just like stack them off kilter a little bit to create those petals. So I kind of went from one side to the other and worked from the largest petals to the smaller petals. So I think I used 2 big petals, 2 or 3 medium-sized petal, and then just 1 small petal. And these make really cute flowers that I guess look like posies. I also think they kind of look like ranunculus. I hope I'm saying that right. But I think those are really, really pretty flowers. I also think that adding a flower like this is a little bit unexpected for your presents and your packages. So I thought it was really, really fun to add this to the present. And of course, I'm doing this voiceover after I gave the present to my friend, and she was like, "Oh, of course you made this." It's just really fun to give somebody something that you've handmade and see the joy that they get from that. I'm adding just a little bit of the Lawn Fawn. This is the Prisma glitter to the center so that it has a little bit of a center. You could also I see pictures on the stamp market where they've just added like a plain circle, maybe out of some like glitter cardstock, or even like a little fringed center. So just tapping off that excess glitter. I'll put that back in the container and move on to my next project. Actually, I'm going to glue the flower onto the leaves and get that set up. I probably glued these petals a little bit too tight. They could probably be a bit looser, and then you would have a flatter flower. Stamping the For My Bestie sentiment, this was my best friend's gift. So just stamping that on, and then I will glue that flower onto the tag. This is the larger tag in that tag set. This is the only time I used the larger tag. For all the other presents, I used the smaller tag. I love that tag set comes with the hole reinforcers. I think that's really, really cute, and it wraps the front and the back of that tag. So now I'm going to move on to my last project, and this is one of those little Lawn Fawn scallop treat boxes. And if you have like a small present, you could put this in the box. And so I'm using stamps from the stamp market, and the ink is also from the stamp market. It's the color moss, and just stamping these pine leaves randomly all over the box. Stamping them off the box, making it look like I had used pattern paper to create this. I thought this was really fun. This is a present that will be given to my husband, and so it's kind of masculine. I don't know, just craft cardstock and some stamping with that moss color. Sorry, again, I'm kind of a little bit out of frame here. There we go. I pushed it up there. So I stamped the top and also the side so that everything is covered. Now I'm just assembling this box, and that is the end of my projects. I hope that you enjoyed this top-down view, seeing how I made these.
Okay, so welcome back to my face. I am so awkward, you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm going to show you how all of my pieces turned out on my gift wrapping. So this is the gift for my best friend, Dana. So you can see I added that tag with that Posie Die from the stamp market. Just white, plain white baker's twine with this piece of thin velvet ribbon. All of the products I'm using are linked down below. I know it'll probably be a little bit late for anybody that's doing gift wrapping this year, but maybe inspired for next year. This velvet ribbon I actually got off Etsy from a supplier, so I'll have her shop link down below. All of the projects that I use, pretty much use the Stamp Market products. I really, really like that company. I feel like it's just a fun, kind of modern take on the stamp projects that we usually do. So this is the gift for my best friend Dana. So the tag says For My Bestie. And I'm actually seeing her when I'm filming this for lunch today. So Merry Christmas, Dana, and I hope you like this present. Another project that I did, this is one of the presents for my husband, Gavin. No ribbon on this one, just that wreath that I made with that Greenery die from the stamp market, and this tag that kind of moves freely, but the Greenery is glued down. So obviously I won't be able to use this again next year, but it didn't take me very long to make, so I'd be willing to make it again. By the way, all of my wrapping is kind of inspired by this paper. This is from Rifle Paper Company. I actually saw it in another person's gift wrapping video, so I will link her channel down below. She's done 2 years of like Vlogmas. She's in the UK where she does gift wrap videos, and I just really liked this paper. And so all of my gift wrapping is very like this kind of tomatoey red and white and craft paper and green and naturey, I guess you could say. So even though these don't really have anything to do with each other, they kind of go together, which I like. So here's a present for my husband. This one, really easy, just this tag that I made, and then that another velvet ribbon. This one's a little bit wider, from that same Etsy shop. I do presents as well that are kind of like more traditional. Like this is another one for my husband, no tag. I'll probably put a tag on it later. And just that craft paper and a green, more like satiny bow. Just a big bow. You know, he doesn't really care what the presents look like. It's me that cares what they look like underneath our tree. So this will be one that he's just like, oh, finally a plain one with ribbon. Here is one last project that I want to show you. It is one of these Lawn Fawn little, I think they're fancy scallop treat box. I think that's what it's called. I'll have it linked down below. That I stamped some greenery from the stamp market on. I made these little green pom-poms from yarn that I had and put a little tag that says a gift for you on it. I'll include some kind of like top-down shots too of some of these so that you can see what they look like. But thank you so much for being here with me this year. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to those of you that celebrate Christmas, or happy holidays to whatever you celebrate this season. I hope that you have a great time spending time with your family and your friends, and take some time off from work and just refresh and move into 2020, the new decade, which just sounds insane. Anyways, please subscribe if you want to see more from me. Like this video if you liked this style of video, so that I kind of know if this is something that you want to see more of, or maybe you don't want to see my face, that's okay too. And I can just go back to regular old cards, which don't worry, I'll still be making cards. That's definitely my first love of crafting world. So anyways, I hope that you all have a wonderful holiday season, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye. Okay, restart. I should probably go put on my wedding ring. Hold on.